Hey everyone, welcome to my live stream. So I still haven't figured out the technology of this and I don't want to spend another $400. So I figured out this way. Eventually I'll figure out how to connect the two, but I do believe that it's going and people are going to start to populate into here. Yay! Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Thanks for coming to my live stream today. Can y'all verify that y'all can Ta-da. Saludos, Maritza. Hi. Hi, Maritza, Mel, can y'all hear me? Yes. Can someone give me a yes so that I can just get started? Because I don't want to start talking if y'all can hear me. Hey, Kat. Can y'all hear me? Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this live stream is going to be focused on business and sewing and crafting. I'm kind of going to continue where the last one left off. And it's I didn't get a lot of pre-questions on this topic, which I didn't last year either. And I expected that because you don't know what questions to ask. People don't know the behind the scenes of everything that I've done to integrate my network of social media. So I understand that people don't know what they don't know until they realize they don't know it, right? So hopefully I can enlighten it and share it with some of y'all and help y'all use this to strategize and maximize your business and sewing and crafting. I'm going to start with this, and this isn't the stuff that a lot of people want to hear whenever they're trying to figure out whether they want a business in sewing and crafting, but it's from the last one. Why do you want to do it? I had a discussion of it before. Maybe it shouldn't be something that you do. Maybe you don't need a business in it. I dedicate, I have a full-time job where I use probably 40, 50 hours of my life for that job, right? And then I have this thing that I saw an opportunity to build something for something that I love. There's a lot of revenue streams. Now I see it as something that I can grow and potentially give to Helena whenever she's older if she wants it. So that's my motivation. But I on top of my job, I probably dedicate 20, 30, sometimes 40 hours to this. You don't see that because all you see is the la 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 la. But there's a lot of behind the scenes. So I'm not saying if you don't have that time that you can't develop a business, but if you only have 5, 10 hours to dedicate a week to a business, then don't, and you shouldn't do this anywhere. Wait, don't compare yourself and your growth to someone who has that amount of time, because it's not going to be the same. Your long game is going to be different. What you're able to do will be different. So just focus on yourself, which I do anyway. I sleep well, Mel. I love sleep. I'm just very planful. I have a schedule. I plan months in advance what I'm going to do. I dedicate a certain amount of time to where my entire day is full. I've always lived that way, and even my downtime, I'm doing something like sewing or usually it's sewing stuff if I'm not at the gym or hanging out with my kid. But everything is planned. I schedule time for myself. I schedule time for my family. Everything is scheduled so that I can operate at this level, because I find that if I operate at this level, that everything gets better. It doesn't make everything watered down. It just elevates everything. So that's just my first thing in this is what I've seen a lot. And people reach out. I encourage anyone to reach out to me if you need mentorship or help or guidance outside. I do consulting, which I charge for, but I'll always mentor, but you'll have to do a lot of work. And most people, whenever they reach out, it doesn't go beyond that first conversation, because either they don't have the time to put in the work, they're not willing to put in the work, they don't believe what I'm saying, or they realize that maybe a business isn't for them. So hopefully all this makes sense. I'm not trying to discourage anyone from having a business, but it's sewing and quilting and crafting is so much fun that I don't want that joy to be taken away from anyone because you're trying to play the rat race on social media and you see other people either having a business or pretending that they have a successful business. when that's not what you shouldn't do that, right? My regular job is not related to quilting beyond Bianca. I work in HIV pharmaceuticals, so that's my day job, which is my dream job. Never want to leave it. Essentially, from morning to night, I'm living my dream. So yeah, that's it. So ta-da. Let's get into social media. If y'all have questions, like I'm prepared, y'all, for this time. If anything happens, I was kind of shocked last time by like the people who jumped, but it's like I've been called names my whole life, like so it doesn't bother me. I'm thriving, I'm living my best life, I'm full of joy. Like I'm joyful because I've had a hard life, not because everything's been easy. So don't sweat that. Okay, I'm gonna moderate. It's not gonna phase me. I've got things to say. The best way to get a hold of me, Mel, is probably email, but don't expect like a response right away. Um, just because I do have, I mean, another thing that I do is I prioritize what I have to do to where it's like high urgency, medium urgency, low urgency. So those kind of things would be low urgency for me. So it doesn't mean I'm not interested. I just need to wait for that space to occur. And great questions. Okay, so Kat, I'll address this one too. I don't want to start with the negative, but one, sorry for me. Don't be heartbroken for me. It's okay. I wasn't sad. I was kind of triggered by it just because I was like, what they were saying was pretty serious. But my ask for all of y'all, I love the love and support that I got from everyone outpouring on how I handled the trolls that came for me. But my ask for all of you is instead of sending that to me, which I love, I'm so grateful for how the support I get from you. There are kids that are out there being marginalized and perhaps not supportive communities. I'm not saying to run up and assume, because you can't assume what their life is or what their truth is. But if you can be visible, it's part of the reason that I am such a visibly proud, happy gay man. Not because I'm like rah, but I know that there are kids watching me that need that kind of example and need to know that they have support and love. If you can show some way, that's what I would prefer you to do then, to express that to me, because my life is great. Like I'm great. So that's my ask on that. And let's get into some social media discussion. The one that I see everyone using is Instagram. Everyone is fixated on Instagram. It's great. I love Instagram. I used to be a photographer, so I love photography. I love the visual medium. I get it. It's easy. It's instant. It doesn't take more than 5 seconds to like look. It's like we all have a short attention span now. So it's great. But it's not the end all be all. Like if all you have is an Instagram and you think you have a business, wow, are you cutting yourself short on the potential reach that you have? It's my dominant social media. I have a feeling that probably in 2020 or 2021, YouTube is going to surpass that, just from the growth. And I analyze, I'm kind of a geek. I analyze all of my my insights, and I have like charts and stuff just to see, because I want to make sure I have goals at the beginning of each year for each social media where I want to be at the end, and I just see how they're going so that I can adjust. And Instagram, yes, it's great. Because you have direct contact with customers, you have direct contact with brands, you have direct contact with customers that you don't get on any other social media platform. You can just slide into someone's DM, and more often than not, they're gonna at least look at it. Some don't. I look and respond to all of my DMs. Just I think it's proper if someone's reaching out. But Instagram, the challenge that I see is people don't know how to use it. They use it casually. Especially in the crafting and sewing communities, people haven't shifted to how to use it. It's the age of the influencer now. It's not about your skill. It's not about your amazing product or project. It's sadly or good. I mean, I've benefited from it, but I feel like I have the skill to back it up too. Um, that you are not there to show everyone your pretty projects. You are there on Instagram to develop content for people to see. And if you're not thinking of it like that, if you're not thinking about it as content creation, then you are not maximizing it. A DM is a direct message, Kim. And Katie, no, it's not unprofessional to contact companies through DM on Instagram. That's how I've contacted literally all of the companies that I have partnered with. And I probably have 40, 50 active partnerships with companies. It's easy. Everyone that's a larger company has a social media person and they'll direct you to the right person. And if they're smaller, like if you contact me, like I'm nobody really, but if you contact me, I love it. Like that's great. It's easy. I'll probably respond to a DM faster than an email because I know that you know that I've seen it. And, like I don't want to be rude or like you think I just ignored it. So I'll usually respond to those quickly. Don't everyone slide into my DM now because like then I'll get overwhelmed. But hopefully this makes sense about looking at it as content. It's content. All of these, it's about content. It's not about what you do behind the scenes. I don't do this because my projects are bomb, but I would have a better shot of growing a brand if my projects were janky, like horribly constructed, and my pictures were amazing than if my project or product was like a 10 out of 10, 100% phenomenal, but my pictures were horrible. I hate to say this, but I see a lot of subpar pictures out there on Instagram. You're not going to get anyone's attention. And if you get anyone's attention, you're not going to keep it. So if you do any of the other things that I suggest you do without having solid content, then you're shooting yourself in the foot and you're not going to grow. And if anything, you're going to keep someone from coming back to you ever again. So my advice on Instagram, and this is advice for Instagram only, I had the benefit of working as a photographer before. So I knew white balance, I knew composition, I knew the rule of thirds and Fibonacci, I knew what makes a good photograph. So I was able to apply that you need to learn that. Take the time. And this is if you want to have a business. I'm not trying to discourage you, but if you want to have a business, the aesthetic on your Instagram needs to represent the aesthetic of your business, and your photography needs to be next level bomb. Because essentially there's a sea of like millions and millions of users. And in this space, there are thousands and thousands of people trying to get attention. And if your picture looks either subpar or like everyone else, you're not going to get anyone's attention. And that's a lot of work to figuring it out. But you could keep it simple by finding brands and other, what's the word? And other segments, not necessarily their aesthetic, but find another business that is an aesthetic that you like and copy their photography. Like don't steal their photographs, but copy their aesthetic until you figure out your own, because it's awesome to model it after what you see someone's aesthetic is. We all have inspiration of aesthetic, like I have mine. That would be my advice on that, to figure out photography. Eventually I'm going to get around to creating a video. I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of how to really do it for y'all. But I can't. Do I watermark my photos, practical stitches? No, I don't. I think that my opinion, just my opinion, I think it doesn't ever look professional enough whenever I see it done on other photos. And I'm already on the internet. I'm of the mindset that my privacy is gone and people are going to steal my content left and right. I don't get razzled by it. It means I'm doing something right. And the only time I ever try to get it removed is if it's my kid. But it's like, whatever, like we're in the social media age, like it's going to happen. So I don't watermark it. It doesn't look good to me. Especially on Instagram. I don't see, not to say, Helena, you can't, okay? You need to go sit down and watch TV. Sorry, y'all. I already taught you. Look beautiful, though. I don't allow her on my YouTube live streams. You can be seen, baby. You need to go into the living room, or I'm gonna have to pause it, okay? Just because this is permanent, so I don't want her to be on here. The internet is scary. So that's my opinion on watermarking. Hopefully that made sense. Yeah, you got to see Reina Elena. I'm gonna look and see if there are any other questions. I'm gonna get to YouTube, Katie, so I'll answer that whenever I get to YouTube. Okay, so that's what you need. Elevate your thing, because this is what the next things I'm going to tell you are all of the things that you can do to get attention. Some of it is repetitive to what I've talked about before, but on Instagram, you could copy everything that I do. I don't care, but it's like Instagram. This advice, I know I'm like all over the place. There's a lot to say. On Instagram and any other social media, to maximize your exposure, you need to use everything. These algorithms, if you want to try and figure it out, it's hard. You can't really, but with Instagram, there's Instagram stories. There's now there's Instagram, the video. What is that called? I can't remember. I'm going to get to the other ones, Mel. There's lives. There's DMs. There is your photos. There is your engagement on your photos. There is whether or not you engage on other accounts. All of that goes into the algorithm. And this is just a simple way. So they want you to use the entire platform, every single thing. If you're not, thank you, Katie, IGTV, if you're not going to maximize your exposure. It's smart to them as a business because they want people to use it, but you're not going to get most exposure. Responding to your DMs elevates your exposure. Using IGTV and then getting comments on that elevates your exposure. Using lives where people respond, and that elevates your exposure. All of it elevates your exposure. It looks organic for me because it is, but I'm also aware, because I want to be authentic always. I'm also aware that using everything elevates my exposure and helps me grow. So yeah, Jennifer, Instagram would be a good place to start. I would get your aesthetic down, but Instagram is a great place to start with trying to build a business. I've got some coffee. So hopefully that makes sense and is not discouraging. But there are strategies once you've got this down. And I'm saying this because I see people who don't have their aesthetic on Instagram down. And if you don't have the kind of content that's going to keep someone around, you're wasting your money and your energy to do any of these other things. One, I do giveaways all the time. I do it, my intention, and I'll say intention a lot because I like to keep my intention with everything in life pure. I'm not thirsty for followers. I'm not thirsty for engagement. And by thirsty, like desperate, that's never, ever, ever my focus. My intention with my giveaways is I'm so grateful and filled with gratitude that all of these companies give me free stuff that I love to share it with people and show my gratitude to all of y'all. That's why I do it. That's my intention. The one time that wasn't my intention, that giveaway bombed. And I was like, see, I know I was off who I am. So do giveaways. If anyone tries to tell you that they're not good, they are. Like, I love doing them. You'll get the attention of people that you don't normally get. And if your content is awesome, then they'll stay. If your content is not awesome, then they'll unfollow you as soon as the giveaway's over. That's the thing, right? So I'm fine doing them all the time. I'm not one. I don't mind paying for shipping, even if it's like out of the country. This is a global environment now. That don't do that because you're wasting your money and you're spending your energy and you're just going to get frustrated. So I would. It's like there's a progression to all of this, and if you skip ahead before you have your aesthetic down, before you understand photos, this isn't the platform for you, right? So I do brand partnerships. I tag every that in that picture. I'm at the level when of understanding all of this where there's an expectation that they're either going to repost me or support me in some way. But that's not how I started. I started by tagging, like, let's say I do a project and I use Wonderfill and I use Art Gallery Fabrics and I use my Brother Machine and I use like Quilter's Dream Batting. I'm going to tag all of those people because I want everyone to know who I use in case they wanted to use any of that. But then companies will see that. And that's how you're going to get their attention. And that's how they would potentially repost you. You could also, once you got your aesthetic down, reach out to them and see if they wanted to collaborate and send you some stuff. They do it all the time. They have stuff. But once again, don't do that until your aesthetic is down. You've built a little bit of your social media following, and you got a presence. So that's my advice on that. Is this making sense? I hope I feel like I'm kind of rambling, but like Instagram seems to be the dominant one, and I see a lot of people doing it wrong. So if that's going to be where you start, and you're not elevating your game, you're wasting your energy, and perhaps that you shouldn't use it for a business or create a business. My other thing with that is, like I said it on my previous video, and I've said it before, I have a 6-to-1 ratio of personal versus professional. That 6 of my photos are going to be professional, like about my business, and 1 is going to be personal. But then generally it's like a personal photo of me doing something in my business, because when you make it too personal, let's say you have a bunch of photos of your kid not related to sewing or crafting, or of your pet not related to sewing and crafting, it looks like a personal page. Like, even if you're a business account, it looks like a personal page. Why would anyone want to follow you unless they know you? Mine, when you go to mine, you don't. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like a personal page. It looks like I'm a funny dude that's like happy all the time, because I am. But you when you go to my Instagram, you can clearly see that, like, I sew and I craft and I share and I do a lot of giveaways. Like, you can see what I'm about. So if you're not doing that and people don't know what you're about, then it's a missed opportunity. So I think that I've shared a lot on Instagram. I don't want to focus too much on it, even though I kind of didn't. It's at 25, but get it right. Don't rush. Play the long game. I didn't start out where I am with all of this understanding. I did everything incrementally. And how I was able to do that is because I don't really care. Like, if all of this is gone, it was a fun ride. Like, it's cool. My ego's not attached to it, but I hope it doesn't happen, because I'm enjoying myself. But if it's gone, then, like, whatever. Do I plan out my posts on IG? Yeah, sure. I do. People don't know this, but my projects, what I'm posting today, I probably finished like a month ago. Like, I don't post chronologically. I'm developing content all of the time. And it's not always about the end project. I do progress photos along the way, showing what I'm doing, but I make sure that those photos are, like, really cool. Like, there's a lot of opportunities to take a cool photo along the way of your project. And it's not just about snapping it. I do have a 10-minute rule that I don't spend more than 10 minutes trying to capture a photo. Otherwise, I can get obsessed. And, like, spend hours and hours. So it's like, wherever I'm at, if it's not good enough, I don't use it. If it's good enough and I find one, then I use it. Like, planned, like using, like, Tailwind, a little bit. Like, maybe what I do is every Sunday, like, I'll plan it for the week. And then I started to, this is some behind the scenes stuff, y'all. So I plan it using Tailwind. And that's where you can put your stuff with your captions and all your stuff, and it'll post it for you. And then I set alarms on my phone so that I know when to respond. When you post, that first hour of time after you post is the most important with regard to reach that there is. That is what they're going to use to calculate how far they push it into the algorithm and how many people are going to see it. So I set an alarm like 30 to 45 minutes after I know that I'm going to post on my phone, and it goes off, and then I know to get back into my phone and, like, respond to people, just so that I'm engaged, because engagement is important. And then I also dedicate some time throughout my day. Usually it's in the morning when I'm waking up, like, going to other similar accounts to mine and engaging on their photos, because that's also part of it, right? So all of that goes into there. See, there's a lot of work, folks. There's a lot of work creating a bit. And if you're not willing to do it, then I don't know what to tell you. This is how I've done it. And and I'm seeing businesses and people who are trying to have a business that don't maximize social media not succeeding. And I talk about Tailwind a little bit. Tailwind, like, schedules posts. It does for various social media, but they push it out into the platform. It's used a lot for Pinterest, but I use it for that. So just look into it and get into it. I don't use Eric, I don't. I I can't go to Quilt Market. One, I don't have to. Like there are designers that have to, but it's like I have to actually pay for my booth. And for me, since I have a day job, if it's time that I'm taking off for vacation and I'm losing money, it doesn't make sense for me to go. But if I'm gonna take time off, if it's not a vacation, it needs to be an event where I'm gonna make money. And since I am an introvert, that I get so exhausted that it impacts me too much. I can't go to market. I personally don't see the benefit of it now because it's such a digital social media influencer age. I don't get it. So if I'm going to spend my energy, I'd rather spend it on social media than at market. Hopefully that makes sense. And one more question, then I'm going to move on from Instagram. It is hard to get subscribers, Bianca, on YouTube. It is. I don't know why I have so many. I'm grateful. Thank you for coming. Did I start with just a local following? Tiara, I wasn't trying to grow a business when I first started. I was just trying to build a community, and that's what I try to do on all of my social media. So it wasn't necessarily local. It's not like I started social media with like the intention of developing a business, but it was cool to find that there was a community out there. And so I connected with a lot of similar people to myself that sewed. And then once I found out that there were like companies would give away free stuff, that's whenever I switched. I was just trying to pay for my hobby. Like I wasn't trying to like create a business. That I switched and like I reached out and I elevated my content and all of that jazz at that point. And then from there, once I did that, then it just started to like it blew up and I was like, what is this? Okay, let me do a business plan. Let me figure all of this out because this is bigger than like just getting your hobby paid for. So that was me. Right, Katie, when I had 500 followers? Like that was just it feels like it was just yesterday. I mean, it kind of was. It was like 3 years ago. Like that's crazy the growth I've had. It's been a fun journey. So, Instagram, great start. Facebook. Oh, it doesn't infuriate me, but it kind of frustrates me whenever people think they have a business and they're not using Facebook. It's a different demographic. My demographic on Instagram is like 24 to 44. My demographic on Facebook is like 55 and over. It's a different demographic. And if you're in sewing and quilting and you're not trying to get all of the demographic, then you're like missing out. I love Facebook. Facebook has a different value proposition. And by value proposition, I mean like what is it important for in your business? That I find on my Facebook page, it's a great way to create community. I don't always post my projects. I do when I get lazy or if I'm overwhelmed and have too much, then I'll just like force my Instagram stuff over there. But it's all about like reposting other people's stuff. If you find something cool that you want to repost, then the best way to get exposure with that is to find an original picture from whatever their post is, post that with a link. And then every time you're shared, then people will go back to you instead of the original post. I noticed some other companies doing that were really successful. So that's how I see Facebook being used is like giving tips, other content, not making it all about yourself. Whether that is what is interesting to the older demographic or whether it's just specific to the value proposition of Facebook, I can't tell you that, but that's how I see it being used in this space. Oh yay. And then one of my favorite things is my Facebook group. I have a Facebook group. It's Mr. Domestic Sewing Room. And I think that's what it's called. And I love it. It's like growing strong. It's like 3,700, but it's just it's like a mecca of positivity. That's just the only rule is positivity. Like you have to be positive and no posting or no spam and no like promo and stuff. So it's like this pure environment of everyone loving and supporting each other. And that's another way to like directly interact with me is in that group. I just love it. I love it. It's like I feel like I'm hanging out with people in this big room. Like it's fun. So Facebook, make sure to use your page. Create it as a resource. The best ones in this area it's a resource and they post like 5-6 times a day throughout the day. I didn't say this on Instagram. I post twice or 3 times a day. There's two ways to do it. You can either have one bomb photo, post it your peak insight, or I have like two or three, and I do my insights. But overall, I get more growth and reach, even though my photos don't have as much engagement than I do if I post one. So that's a sidebar. The Facebook people post all of the time, and you can schedule posts within Facebook, but the ones that have like 100, 200,000 people who like their Facebook page, that's what they're doing. They're creating a report. And oh yeah, I use swipe up all the time. It's great on, hey Alyssa, it's great on Instagram. It like helps. And now you can connect your posts, but let's get off of Instagram. I could really just do one thing on Instagram, but I want to emphasize how important it is to use all of the social media platforms. So Facebook, in a nutshell, I don't know the algorithm of Facebook. It's never been the social media that I focused on. Every year I have one. And this year I'm focusing on Instagram. Last year I focused on YouTube. I've never like had a year where I focused on Facebook to know it, but it's like post a lot. All you've got to do, this is a trick. There are some accounts on Facebook that are like awesome. Not that anyone that I don't mention isn't awesome, but these are the Facebook accounts I go to not steal their content, but I go to find content that I could share. I go to Aurifil. I go to So Sweetness. I go to GoGo Kim. I know her name is Heather Valentine. The Sewing Loft. Girl with a Glue Gun. There are a couple other ones, but those are ones that are 100,000 and above. That they're following what I tell you to do, and this is where I learned it from because I watched their growth, and I'll share some of their content because usually they're sharing it from someone else, and that helps give me content for Facebook to share. So Katie, there's no right or wrong answer for what you post on Facebook. The way I see it is on my group. That's the time for me to talk more about myself and to share stuff that I do. But my Facebook page is not about myself. It's about the arena. So that's how I've differentiated. But there's not a wrong or right as long as you're using it. And then once again, on Facebook, just like every other one, whatever kind of things that they have, whether it's live, whether it's video, whether it's blah, 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 they want you to use it. And that's going to help you get more exposure. But my main emphasis with this is you need to use Facebook. Don't just do Instagram because you never know. Facebook might be your dominant social media. I see people that I didn't realize had a huge following on Facebook that don't necessarily on Instagram, and they have a viable business. You don't know where you're going to connect until you get into all of them. That being said, the next one is Pinterest. I've never really put a lot of energy into Pinterest. I don't, but I see viable businesses that do. And that is more of like a search engine, just like YouTube is more of like a search engine. But where I get bang for my buck out of Pinterest is that in my blog posts, when I'm really on it, I'll create like a Pinterest worthy photo that I put in there that can be like posted in Pinterest. And I have some blog posts that have tens of thousands of views, and most of them come from Pinterest. It's just occasionally there's one that like goes semi-viral, and like people really, and this is always driving people to my blog. So that's where I use it. That's another thing with there are Tailwind groups. I've never really gotten into it, but Pinterest is a great way to drive traffic to you. And that's another thing. I have a blog. If you don't have a blog or a site, you don't have a business, in my opinion. Like, you just don't have one. Like, you're just on social media playing. You need something to draw. Everything I do, there's a network of how I drive it all to my blog because I want that. And then from my blog, there's my content. And then I'm also growing my email list. My email list is almost at 8,000 now. And that was something I just started a little bit ago. I still don't know what to do with it, but I just know stuff that I do. But like that, the way I see it is my blog, I belong. Like that belongs to me. No one can take that away. Someone can hack into any of these things and take it away from me, but my blog is mine. So you need to do that. So Pinterest, do Pinterest. And the other one, I talk about my blog. Does anyone have any questions? I've just been ranting and ranting and ranting about like how to use it. I hopefully y'all are getting stuff. How did I start my blog, Sharon? Great question. My blog was the one thing I didn't want to do. In my head, it was going to take a lot of time and a lot of energy, and I was just like, I don't want to do that. Like it seems like it's hard. So what I did, this is how I got into it, folks. Is I realized that through my Instagram posts, since I posted progress photos with captions, and basically in my captions, I just say whatever's on the top of my head. But I had captions there and I had enough photos. So at first, I would just take my photos from Instagram and the captions that I wrote, and I would put those directly into my blog as the content. So it's like it would be the same exact thing. And then I would post a blog post. And it was somewhat cohesive, but it got me started. And then by doing that, I realized, oh, it really doesn't take long. You don't have to write like a super long blog post. You can write like a short blog post, but at least it's content and it's something, and you can link to things, and that is where you can get some affiliate money, y'all. Is from your blog. There are so many affiliate companies, and by affiliate, if you don't know what affiliate is, it's like companies will pay you to promote them, to link to them on your blog posts. So like on Amazon, I mean, you don't get a lot of it, but maybe 1% the sale. And just for me, I'll never like suggest anything unless I love it. Like I'm not thirsty. Like I'm good. I don't need to. And I feel like I've built trust with y'all that I would never do that. Like if it's horrible, then you found out and you spent money on it. One, I would feel horrible. And then two, it's like you would be like, I'm not gonna buy anything from him. So there's money out there on affiliates. There are months that I make like $1,000 on affiliate stuff. Like it's available. Etsy, I'm affiliate. I limited who I affiliate with, but it's like Quarter Shop is one of mine. I just started with Martelli like a month ago. Amazon. There are other ones, but it's like I haven't gotten enough from them to get payout, and I'd rather just do the big ones if I'm gonna do them. I don't want to overspray with it. Do that. That's annoying. I don't want to do that. And let me see. Which is the very first place to start when learning to advertise via social media? That's hard. I would say Instagram. Instagram's the easiest, but it's not the end all be all. I would get your Instagram down. That seems to be where more growth is. Mel, you can reach out to them via email or a direct message. How do you link up? You can create a hyperlink in your blog. There's an option. Like I use WordPress, but you can just in all of them you create a hyperlink. I'm showing my age right now, but you just create a hyperlink and do that. So YouTube. So on Facebook, don't share a post. Click on that post that takes you to the original post and copy that link to share. Yes, Becky, that's what I mean. I wouldn't just share their link. So I wouldn't like take the link of their post and then like put it into where it would populate an image. I would either take a photo that they've shared. This is what I've seen. So don't like come for me, companies, if I'm like violating your copyright, whatever. Other people did it first. Sorry. But I would take a photo from their blog or from the post, and I would post that, because then that becomes an original place for people to share from. So all of the shares would originate with you as opposed to originate from the post. So, and photos seem to get more exposure and reach than like just linking like an HTTP. What's that called? What is it called? An HTTPS? What is that? I don't know. A website? How do you link up with a company? You I'll show that. Yeah, I have it set up to where like all my like there's certain keywords that won't like come through. So like I'm protected, y'all. I'm good. No one's gonna get through my force field right here. How do I link up with companies? You reach out. But if you reach out, you have to have something to offer them. For those who have never heard this before, what I'm about to say, if you have whatever, it's a refresher. But what I would do in the very beginning, before like I legit reached out. AGF was the first one that I reached out to, and I partnered with them when I had like 1,000 followers. Um, and that's when I made that big coat, and it was bomb. But like, um, what I would do to get companies' attention in the beginning, I don't do this anymore. But whenever I was first starting out, is if there was a company whose attention I wanted to get, I would personally buy stuff from them. I would create an amazing project with their stuff, link to them, to what, not, and not just like a basic project, like a next level project that I knew would get a lot of attention. And then once that got the attention, and I tagged them to where they would see it. Then once it got the attention, then I would reach out to them because they knew that I would do something good with their product. And I did that a number of times with different companies, and that was just my strategy and the order that I did things in to try and get in with them. And there's never a time it didn't work. But you've got to have your photos on fleek. I said it. You've got to have your project be bomb. It's not like you're not going to do a zipper pouch. You're going to do like something that takes hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Like my woven trench coat for Helena took like 200 hours to construct. But after I did that, then they were like, I want this dude to be our ambassador. And that's how I got in with them. And then now look at me. I'm a fabric designer. Never expected it. But you got to put in the energy and the time, right? With that. So YouTube, I don't have much I do copyright. I mean, all patterns are copywritten, but yeah, I add a copyright to the bottom of my patterns. The final one is YouTube, and this is what I'm going to say about that. And how do I say it? I'm trying to be firm with y'all. I don't think it's coming out firm, but if you are an entrepreneur and you are trying to create a business, understanding the importance of social media, it's not going to just be stuff that you want to do. It's not going to be just stuff that you're comfortable with. You need to get into everything. And don't try and tackle everything at once because it'll get overwhelming and you'll never have a business. But if you are intimidated by videos or don't like the way you look, I don't like the way I look. Who likes the way they look? Don't like your voice. Like if you saw all the comments, I get like at least a couple comments a day about what a voice. You need to get over it. You need to do videos. You need to show your face. You need to be a brand. You need to do that. You just need to jump into it. Who cares that you're uncomfortable? Like, no one cares. There are going to be people that see like the things that make you uncomfortable, but who cares? There's going to be like 98% of the people who don't see that and who see that you're awesome and like you're rad and you're trying to do something, like you're going to inspire others. Like there's a lot of stuff, right? It's so that's just my thing with YouTube. Do it when you're ready. But like what kept me from YouTube for the longest time was that I knew the anonymity of trolls on YouTube, and that kept me because I didn't want to invite that into my life. That it hasn't been that hard. I know that they're out there, and I know it has nothing to do with me, and they're probably like 13 people like really sad and like looking for something and they don't know the world and stuff. So I don't know what these are. What are those mailboxes? It's hiding your mailboxes. Paul, I don't know your mailboxes. For some reason it's holding this for review. But that's my thing with YouTube. Get over it. Just do it. Just jump in. Don't let your fear of wanting to be perfect keep you from doing a video. But then once again, I've had on-camera training. Like I've done the training. I know that really at the end of the day, it's just about being yourself and being authentic and just going for it. And like those people who get on camera and try to be perfect or try to be anything other than their authentic self don't resonate with people. And that's really what like decades of on-camera work and training taught me, was to give no poops and just be yourself and authentic. And that's what will resonate. All like the people who jump onto video and want everything to be perfect and like sit up. It's like, I hear my voice, y'all. I know what it's like. And I could very well speak like this all of the time at a professional timbre, always speaking like this, not elevate the end of my sentences and be very professional. Look at my cup of coffee, y'all. Look at how amazing this is. Look at my phone, y'all. Look at this. It's amazing. But who wants to listen to that? Like, and if you're the type of person that wants to listen to that, go. I'm sure there's a channel out there like that, but that's not my jam. I want to be authentic, and this is how I speak. Right? You don't like it, bounce. You like it, stay. That's as easy as that. So that's my advice, and that's the only thing I want to say about YouTube, because honestly, YouTube should be, in my opinion, the last thing. But know that it's going to be an eventual thing. And once I'm more immersed in this platform, I'll do like YouTube specific stuff to help y'all out. But with that, the reason I brought that up is just like get over the stuff that you're uncomfortable with, and get over the stuff that you're that you don't want to do, and get over like the learning about taxes. Like just get over it, because at the end of the day, you're creating something amazing that's for yourself. So it's like you should love what the potential of the end result is so much that the other stuff, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if you don't like me, people. I don't care if you don't like my voice. I don't care that you don't like I'm gay. I don't care any of that. It doesn't matter. Like, that's it. See, I did it. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't know you. But that's my, in a nutshell, social media promotion. You've got to do it. Don't just focus on Instagram. It's a good place to start, but you need to branch out if you want to have a business. And if you don't have the time to devote to creating a business, don't get salty at other people that do and are thriving. That's it. And know that they're going to be haters. They're going to be people who come for you, especially if you shine brightly and you're thriving. People are going to come for you. It's it's been my life. Like, it's been always, but it has never dimmed my shine. It's only made me want to shine brighter and be myself more, and to it's always had the opposite effect. So bring it, folks. It's going to my light is just gonna, like, I'll come to the light. My light's just gonna get bigger. Like, if you hate on me, like, that's how I feel about it. So hopefully y'all got some stuff out of this and I was able to help you. Yes, just like me, girl. I'm not. So y'all, once again, I know I said it in the beginning. Don't worry about me if you see a hater. Don't worry about me. I'm living my best life, like Oprah style. But and I always, it's always on my mind when it gets closer to Pride Month. If you see someone that's a kid, underage, potentially marginalized, for you to be a beacon for them and to show support for them, not by going up and saying, "Hey, kid, I know that you're gay." Like, don't do that, because they don't even know themselves. But by seeing an adult that is strong in their convictions and willing to support and be an ally, that could quite literally save a kid's life. So I don't need that. I'm great. Like, thank you for sending it my way, but the kids need it more than I do. So that's my parting words. Spread the joy and positivity and love and pride and all of that. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this. I'm happy to do more of these in the future. And keep it positive, y'all. Mr. Domestic out.